I think that it's really important because it does bring everybody together. It shows how much everybody like just comes together, a unity as a community. Even like the city was a part of it.
It's a moment for a community to be seen and heard as Hispanic Heritage Month comes to the Newberry College campus.
A lot of what I do is going out into the community and building relationships with the people and the constituents that we work with.
And now that we are well and truly in spooky season, I want to tell you about the Loup-Garou.
There are 1 in 7 neighbors, 1 in 6 children that face food insecurity in the state of South Carolina.
It's a problem college students face everywhere. Food insecurity, and Newberry College recently hosted a summit to find a solution.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Newberry College is a community made up of people from many different cultures and of many diverse identities. And there are events that highlights parts of the Newberry College community. To mark Hispanic Heritage Month, the college is hosting several events to bring stories, connection, and to help build better understanding.
Newberry College held the annual Hispanic Heritage Festival. The event featured local vendors, food trucks, a live mariachi band, and of course, dancing. Martha is the vice president of the Latin American Student Organization, also known as LASSO. She believes holding the festival is important.
I think that it's really important because it does bring everybody together. It shows how much everybody like just comes together, a unity as a community. Even like the city was a part of it. And it shows like the importance of our background, where we come from. We learn a little bit about everybody, like maybe like Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Mexico, a little bit of Cuban, a little bit of everything.
Miguel is a student here and a part-time dance instructor. He's proud Newberry held the festival despite tensions surrounding immigrations and custom enforcement.
I think if Newberry College didn't host the the Hispanic Heritage Festival this year, I'd been very upset. But I think I would have fought a little harder, pushed a little harder to make that happen. And sure, it would happen for next year, or at least another event throughout the semester so that there would be representation for the Latino community. It means a lot to me, and I saw the smiles and the faces from last year, and I just want to have that.
Probably, since I am a part of LASSO, I probably would have like said like, hey, like I think that we should do this, because I think that it's just kind of like in a moment thing to where like you do make the best out of it. Everybody's smiling, nobody's serious. It's a lot of fun. Everybody just laughs. Like I even got to know people I didn't even know were here. Kind of just, it was fun. It does bring everybody together. It shows how much everybody like just comes together, a unity as a community. Even like the city was a part of it. And it shows like the importance of our background, where we come from. We learn a little bit about everybody, like maybe like Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Mexico, a little bit of Cuban, a little bit of everything.
From music to culture, students shared their favorite parts from the Hispanic Heritage Festival.
My favorite part was definitely the dancing. I loved it. It allowed me to get a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I actually never been a little bit out of my comfort zone. And I did love the way everybody just got together. We did a little bit of line dancing, some Aztec dancing. So Miguel actually brought out some Zumba, some salsa. It was really fun. That's my favorite part.
I think my favorite part was once everyone got together dancing, and it just felt like home for me. I like dancing. I like to be connected. So that was my favorite part. Is that Newberry is growing. There's more awareness. There's some Hispanic orientation here, and representation just means a lot. And the LASO, Latin American Student Organization, get acquainted with the general members, the executive board, ask around. I would also suggest Latino fraternity, Phi Iota Alpha fraternity.
The festival was actually pretty fun. It was really soothing. It was nice to know that people got to see other sides of our heritage, It wasn't just us, because we felt it really good, but other people who aren't Hispanic and stuff saw it too, and they really opened up and smiled. And I think the food was delicious. The songs were really good. Getting to see a quinceañera is really fun. I think it was just so peaceful for everyone to see something different than what it's making it.
And it was really just great to see everyone interacting and kind of bonding over the shared experience. And then I also got to drag my friends into it. So I got to teach a lot of my friends how to salsa, and they were dancing out there with me. Not none of us were dancing super well, but I think it was a good time regardless of what happens. So yeah, it was just a really fun time, and I think it was a great experience to have with other people, especially with the people that are close to you.
Newberry Mayor Foster Sen was there and made a proclamation on behalf of the city and the county.
We're glad to present Liz a proclamation both from the city and the county as we appreciate her Hispanic Heritage Month and celebrate that starting on September 15th through October 15th. And Liz, I'd like to read that.
For some, the festival isn't just about a celebration. It's about community and belonging.
It's just not maybe 3 or 4 students. There's a lot of us out here that would love to see our community out there. We love it. Kind of feels like home away from home.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Ever since it opened in December 1925, the Newberry Hospital has provided the latest in healthcare and treatment to the people in the Newberry area. This year, what's now Newberry Health Hospital celebrates its 100th year. Joining us today to talk about what's going on there is Kenley Longshore, the Director of Marketing for Newberry Health and a graduate of the Newberry College Communications Program. Thank you for joining us and welcome home.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Ms. Kenley, what sparked your interest in communications?
So I didn't start in communications here, but I took a couple of Dr. Peeler's classes and then transitioned into communications. I started off in education and just found that wasn't for me, and I liked being front-facing with the community, so that's how I got into public relations.
So now that you're new to public relations, did you have some prior training at another agency or organization?
So I graduated my degree in communications, and then I dabbled in marketing right after I graduated. Then got into working in admissions here actually at Newberry College, so kind of used a lot of the public relations aspects of that. So I'm glad to be diving back into marketing and public relations fully to really utilize my degree. So I've learned a lot. It's been a learning curve the past few months, kind of getting back into it.
Okay, so what are some skills you learned that you brought from Newberry College to public relations at the hospital?
I think obviously the inside the classroom stuff was super beneficial, like the textbook, you know, this is how you write, this is formatting, things like that. But more than that, being able to work with Professor De La Chica, Dr. Peeler, and getting their real world experience on how to navigate communications and public relations, because it's always changing. I think being able to take bits and pieces from their real world experience more than anything was very beneficial. So inside the classroom stuff, but also being able to be around people who have that real world experience has been helpful.
So did a friend or family member suggest you to apply to Newberry Hospital?
So I actually was recommended by a couple people who worked there that knew I was in that space of public relations and communication. So they reached out and asked if I was interested. So I went through the application process and felt like it was a really great fit for me. The people I work with every day are amazing. It's a great environment. The workplace culture is great, and it's definitely a team atmosphere. So I am in a really great place there.
Okay, what did you learn from the communications program that helped you excel?
Yeah, definitely how to talk to people, definitely how to network, how to hold those conversations. Building relationships is probably the biggest thing I took away from the program.
What are some skills you recommend students to develop on their free time, during school, outside of school?
Yeah, unplug. I think so much of things these days, and it's kind of funny to say that in communications and marketing, but getting off your phone and building those relationships with people you're working with. A lot of what I do is going out into the community and building relationships with the people and the constituents that we work with for our different service lines. So, you know, pediatrics, primary care, having the ability to talk to people, I think is kind of a lost art. And so that would be the number one thing I would tell people, to make sure you know how to hold a conversation with someone. It's super important to be able to do that, especially now, to be able to make that phone call, set that meeting, and have that conversation flow, because it builds trust.
Builds that foundation.
100%.
So, okay, so did you see the field differently now compared to where you're at?
I think so. I think just technology has changed everything. I think COVID still, even though it's been 5 years now, changed a lot of things with Zoom and having, you know, Google Meets and stuff. I think that going back to getting away from kind of that face-to-face, that's definitely changed, and just you can be in everyone's space at all times. So finding ways to be, you know, to stand out among everyone else when somebody's scrolling through stuff every single day on their phone.
Okay, and how's it feel now being back here at Newberry College after this long journey?
Yeah, I will tell anyone who will listen to me, I had the best time in the communications program. We had a small cohort of friends. I mean, I had the same like 15 people in the majority of my classes, people I still talk to. Dr. Peeler was phenomenal. I'm not just saying that, but we loved her. We loved the program, and I learned so much, and I really enjoyed my time here in the communications program.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kenley, for being here. And,
absolutely.
We'll be right back with more Close-Up after these messages.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Hi, I'm Al Della Chica, professor of communications at Newberry College and studio host of the new Wolves Weekly program, produced right here on the campus of Newberry College for Flow Sports. The show is streamed each and every week on Flow Sports and can also be found on YouTube. It's available literally to a worldwide audience. And although you might think that the show is put together by producers and journalists, the fact is almost all the parts and pieces you see in a single episode, from shooting and producing the sports highlight package, to scheduling and conducting the interview on set, to in-depth features that bring the stories of Newberry athletics and the college to viewers each and every week. This is a show that is student-run and student-led. It's a show where you can get involved in order to produce something worthwhile and that could help your career in media later on. You'll gain the skills and experience necessary to become a well-rounded communications professional able to work across industries and in a variety of media. If you'd like to work in an environment like this if you have great ideas for stories, and if you'd like to be one of the hosts and reporters of the show itself, consider joining with us in the communications program here at Newberry College. You will not be left sitting on the sidelines. Not only that, but you'll receive a well-rounded education that will prepare you for the rest of your life. Newberry College can make that happen. So if you're all about telling the story of Newberry athletics, the college, and our community as well, we'd love to have you join Newberry College and Wolves Weekly. Check out the college website at newberry.edu to get started with your application. Go Wolves!
You're watching NCTV Newberry.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Hodges in the English department, and now that we are well and truly in spooky season, I want to tell you about the Loup-Garou and what this monster can teach us about culture and change in the early colonial period. So, first, a story. Imagine you have been working late at night, you've just had to pull a double, you pull into your driveway kind of exhausted, you climb out of your car, and just as you're about to close the door of your car and get ready to relax for a well-deserved night off, you hear something funny. You look across the street and your neighbor is out on their porch, but it's not quite your neighbor. You hear bones snapping and joints crackling as it transforms into, what is that even? A wolf? A bear? Something huge. Oh my goodness, you just realized that your neighbor is a Loup-Garou. All right, so the Loup-Garou is an immigrant from France. Over in France, it's basically evolved into just a regular old werewolf. But when it came to the French-Canadian colonies and then down to Louisiana, it took on some different ideas. So Jeffrey Cohen, who is the pioneering scholar behind monster theory, tells us that there are things that monsters can teach us about a culture, about a society, and about its fears. So, question one, monster's body is a cultural body. How do you even become a Loup-Garou? Well, if you know about werewolves, you know you're usually bitten, right? Not a Loup-Garou. Oh no, you become a Loup-Garou one of two ways. Either you forget to go to Mass and abstain from going to church regularly, in which case you lose the blessings of God and you are subject to the dangers of a savage new world. Or there's a quicker, easier way, and that's just that you sell your soul to the devil. Well, okay, so what does this show us about a society's fears? The French were really worried that folks would come to the New World and completely forget what they were supposed to believe, who they were supposed to pay allegiance to, what they were supposed to do. So that was a big time cultural fear. Okay, so how is it that you can be saved from being a Loup-Garou? Well, it wasn't just a matter of repentance. It wasn't just a matter of forgetting. Instead, you had to find someone who would share your secret and who would offer you absolution. So that's why you see kind of two faces presented here when we talk about the Loup-Garou down in Louisiana. You had to find someone who would pull you back into community, but who also would keep you from shame within that community. So what values do we see here? Repentance, yes, but we also see the need for acceptance, love, community, and wholeness. And that can only come when we are in relationship with other like-minded people.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
On a recent edition of Close-Up, we presented a story about the Wolves Pantry, which helped Newberry College students when they are having trouble making ends meet. But this is an issue that's not only Newberry College faces. It's a problem around the country, and leaders from many colleges and universities are finding ways to address it. On September 27, Newberry College hosted the Carolina's College Fund Food Insecurity Summit, which brought together students, faculty, staff, and partners from the Carolinas and Georgia to address this ongoing problem.
There are 1 in 7 neighbors and 1 in 6 children that face food insecurity in the state of South Carolina. And we have 3 locations, 1 in Columbia, 1 in Greenville, and 1 in Florence. We've been in partnership with Newberry College well over probably 10 years.
Good morning. A warm welcome to Newberry College. I am Pastor David Kaufman. I am the campus pastor. And one of the ways in which we greet each other here at the college is, and I'll give you the answer first. The Wolves are well. How are the Wolves? The Wolves are well. The Wolves are indeed well, and super excited to have each and every one of you here with us today. When I interviewed for this position 4 years ago this month, I really had not given food insecurity on a college campus much thought. I naively suggested a simple blessing box on the porch of my office as a solution. The faculty and staff in that interview quickly corrected me and said, "No, Pastor, it's bigger than that." Of 3 industrial-sized shelves, a refrigerator, and about $30,000 in donations since, the Wolves Pantry has been feeding almost averaging 40 students a week. And we have a student body of 1,700. I realized then, about a year ago, that it was bigger than that, than what we were doing in the pantry. And we created 5 blessing stations around campus, with stocked with snacks and soups and the college staple of ramen. They are filled regularly from the donations to the Wolves Pantry. But it's bigger than that. As a pastor, I recently read a quote about communion. It says, "The Eucharistic table connects to other tables in human life, the kitchen tables and the boardroom tables, raising questions about how to distribute power and resources so that all may be fed." Communion is that time when we gather at the Lord's meal that we are interconnected with the ecology of the earth, from agriculture to economics, etc. And this simple meal of bread and wine at the Lord's table connects us to the kitchen table, the dining room table, the boardroom table, the cafeteria table, the folding tray table, and even the sidewalk used as a table, so that all are fed. Friends, food insecurity is huge, but the hearts, willing and able and wanting to feed the hungry, is bigger than that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for fighting alongside those who are lost, lonely, left out, and hungry. Because of our work, all will have life and all will be fed. Again, welcome to Newberry College. I want to now introduce our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Beth Hingham.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for making the trip into Newberry, South Carolina. I know that we have people from 3 different states here. So again, this really signals your commitment to this cause of making sure that our students are fed and nourished. And so on behalf of Newberry College, welcome. We're so happy that you chose us for this year's summit, and we are thrilled to see that there are so many of you here who are in this mission together with us. Mayor Foster Son.
Newberry, we are glad you're here. We are honored to host the Carolinas Colleges and Universities Food Insecurity Conference, and we're glad to know, too, that it's now added on Georgia. So great honor for us. As Pastor David and Dr. Hingham said, thank you for what you do. You do important work, positively helping individuals and families every day. And that says a lot about you and your college and your community, and we applaud you for that. First, I want to touch on, we have food banks here. In addition to Pastor David's work, we have Living Hope, just a few blocks from here. We have GAP, God's Abundance for All People, is in town as well. They do a fantastic job. Also have a soup kitchen on Saturday for lunchtime. We have Food Share works in Newberry County, Harvest Hope works in Newberry County, and we have some rural church food banks as well. And so we are on y'all's team and glad to be working through our community in the same way. Hope you have a great day. We'll be glad to see you anytime.
And that's all for this edition. I'm Adeline Jandel. Join us next time for another edition of Close-Up.
NCTV Newberry.